So we just want to take all of the pressure off. And that's all we wanted to start by focusing on this, because it is such a huge deal with everyone right now in this new normal that we're living
Yeah,
in.
and you've kind of already dove into one of the first plan of actions that we really want to talk
Yeah,
about
so how do we fix this?
is just stay simple. Keep it simple. And so, what Hope and I really want you to take away from this podcast today is your plan of action and what that looks like. Whether you're a parent, whether if you're an educator, what does this look like to be or set you up to have the most successful year for not only you, but for your children and for your family. And so we're going to dive into that. We've kind of already dove in a little
Yes,
bit with,
folks, we are going to
yeah,
get you to thriving instead of
that's right.
just surviving. And then we're going to
Gonna
need for
kill it.
y'all to do the same for us too, as we all learn and work through this together. But yeah, step one to really taking that idea of perfectionism off our plate and focusing on progress is, like you said, to keep it simple.
Yep.
So, how do we keep it simple, focusing as educators in our classroom?
Yeah, if you can think back again, kind of like what I was referencing earlier, is the first time you did anything, if it was a sport, if it was a job, whatever it was, I guarantee you that you focused on what you could do and what you could control. And that's where we want to take you right now, keeping it simple, especially for parents. Parents, listen, you don't have to have all of the technology. You don't have to have all of the resources. I guarantee you, just like Hope said, if you are intentional about communicating with your child during this time period and talking to them and allowing for conversations to happen, whether it's time for that virtual lesson, that hybrid lesson or not, whether it's outside, but you're paying attention to what your child is learning, you can have those conversations in whatever avenue or whatever scenario is going on. Parents, it's not all about the academics. I mean, we have to teach our kids those essential skills on how to change a tire, on how to wash dishes, on how to fold clothes, right? That's what makes a great human. And so parents, guarantee you, if you focus on what you can control inside of the home, your child will learn and they will be more equipped to learn because they'll see that education isn't a completely separate entity from life. That's what
Right.
makes a great human, and integrating it and using it where you can and what you feel comfortable with.
Wow.
Don't stretch yourself. What do you feel comfortable with? Keep it simple and focus on the simplicity of supporting the teachers however you can.
That's like a powerful thing that you said, is when this is giving us an opportunity for education and for home life to not be separate like it
Right.
has always been in the past, but rather to be as one, to develop the whole child. And so we have to look at this as a true opportunity, as parents at home during this time, when all of us said, oh, if I just had the time, if I just had the time. Well, now we are given the time. So what are we going to do with that time? And, I think part of keeping it simple, and I know you kind of gave just an overview of,
Sure.
of education and what it is and how important and what it looks like in the
Right.
home now and how it looks different. But, I think one of the biggest things that people are stressing about is, how do I set up a classroom? How do I have a home. I don't know. This is my house and now I've got to have a classroom. Or for teachers who are teaching virtually, do I teach at school in my classroom, or how do I set up an office at home, or how do I do this? And again, it's about keeping it simple. What are the necessities? My educator friends will probably, some might laugh at this and some might feel this. But I see so many teachers right now, but I'll also see parents who are running to the educational
Oh boy, I know
stores
exactly what you're about to talk about.
and they are buying every apple decoration and
Worm,
pencil and
pencil,
worm and chalkboard.
and they are doing their darndest.
Man, you guys are ready to set up a classroom, guys. And if you've done that, you know what?
Hats off to you. Let's go.
You go. You go for taking initiative and you go for trying to create a space. But I want to talk about that for a second, because it's something that is true of being in the classroom, whether your classroom is in your classroom or whether you are, working from home, your students are working from home.
And again, I know where you're going. Keep it simple, y'all. Just keep
Yeah.
that in mind this whole time. Keep it simple and go
That
back
is
to
your
the
new
root.
mantra.
Go back to the root of when you were a child.
Write it on a Post-it note. Write it on a 3x5 card, because if you're teaching at home, we know you already stocked up on those because you're freaking out about the supplies that your kids need.
Yep.
Write it and put it up for you and for your kids to see every single day. Keep it simple. So when it does come to setting up a classroom, whether it be in your home or in your school, what are the needs right now? What are the needs of your students? And more importantly, how are you going to create an environment that is going to motivate? That's what we have to focus on with our kids.